And welcome to Autodrome International Speedway. Steve Young and David Malamed ready to bring you a great night of racing action here at Autodrome, the Can-Am Midgets in town. And they're going to be the first two heats this evening that you will see on your Rogers Sports exclusive. Great night of racing action ahead, and boy, we're excited to have these cars back at the racetrack. You can see with those wings, they get the great downforce, and they are something to watch in person, aren't they, David?
These are really, really nice. First time for me seeing them, Steve, and I'm impressed.
They were turning laps, as David said in the opening, under 18 seconds around the speedway, and that's basically 2.5 seconds faster than what we regularly see here. So they are just scorching this racetrack, and we are really looking forward to seeing them really get down into business here and go racing here tonight at Autodrome International Speedway. And as you can see, there's your roster of cars with us here tonight. Among the cars to keep your eye on are the 43 Craig Mackreth. Mackreth is the defending Can-Am Series champion, a great second-generation race car driver. Actually, the folks that remember the old Lansdowne Speedway that used to be at Lansdowne Park might remember Norm Mackreth. And Norm used to race super modifieds, of course, over at Lansdowne Speedway, and had that famous car number 48 and with the pink wheels. That's how many people remember Norm Mackreth and the pink wheeled machine, but he's out there, or not out there. His sons are out there as well. Andy, another one of his sons in the 40 car, somebody keep your eye on. Randy May, always a hot shoe in car number 23, also a very, very good driver. Another guy to keep your eye on is the 49 of Adam Walsh, and Walsh is among the best in this business. As you can see, the field is now already on the Speedway Racing Service, so we'll give you the lineup. Starting on the pole in car number 23 is Randy May. He's out of Mount Hope, Ontario, in car number 23. Beside him in the number 97, Ted Bois from Brampton. Row number 2 on the inside, the 6 Jeff Riberty out of Newmarket. Riberty in car number 6. Beside him in the 1 is Wayne Turnbull. Turnbull out of Paris, Ontario, in car number 1. 74 machine, another guy to keep your eye on is Ken Lawrence out of Lancaster, New York, in the 74. Another number 94 on the outside, Harvey Walsh out of Brantford. The number 82, one of the young guns in this sport, is James Gray. He's from Brampton. The 43 of Craig Mackreth, as we mentioned. The 28 machine is Paul Smith out of Cambridge. And we're ready to get the white flag one more trip around, and starting scratch on the field with a whole lot of work to do. As we get started is car number 69. That's Earl Kane out of Orangeville. Sharp-looking race cars as well, David.
Like I said, Steve, these are really interesting. They're sort of like our Legends class that we have here on a normal basis, but really more of an open wheel, nice wing on the top, keeping some good grip on the ground. And this is just half of the class that we'll be running today. They're just running their heats. So we're going to see about double this when we get into the features.
We're revving up those engines as they come off to turn number 4, ready to get the green flag, and we are underway at Autodrome International Speedway. The 23 of Randy May leads him into turn number 1 for the first time. May in that nicely prepared black and fluorescent yellow machine, leading him down the back straightaway. Riberty jumps up into the number 2 spot in car number 6, and the number 97 of Ted Bois running in the number 3 position as they come storming off at turn. We got problems on the back straight as one slows down in the middle of the back straightaway right underneath the Rogers Sports exclusive side and comes to a halt on the back chute. And I'm trying to get a number on that. I think it might be the 69, which would be Earl Kane. Kane, all the way from Orangeville in car number 69, comes to a stop. Can-Am Midgets with their own pace vehicle that also works some time with the Southern Ontario Sprints is down there below. And he'll get a push around off the back chute. So May got off to a pretty good start in the 23 car. And it is indeed the 69 of Earl Kane out of Orangeville, parked in the grass on the infield, and looks like they may be, I'm not sure if they're going to leave him there for the heat or whether he's going to be able to continue or not.
They'll leave. Dave is our regular announcer at the track, so you can have any questions.
I have a special spot in my heart for this club is one of my best friends, Dan Smith from Chelmsford, Ontario. Used to drive these cars on a regular basis all around southern Ontario. They compete at places like Peterborough Speedway, Sunset Speedway, down at Flamborough Speedway near Hamilton. The odd race they've done at Delaware Speedway Park just outside of London. And that gives you the kind of idea. These guys go all over Ontario and have done some racing in the past just over the border in New York State as well. White flag going on the field this time by the 23, Randy May out of Mount Hope. Your early leader. 97, Abois going from the outside pool. As we'll pick it up from scratch once again. Field all nicely bunched up as they head down into turn number 3. And revving up those engines coming off at turn number 4. The green flag coming out. Here we go, back to action. And some wheel-to-wheel racing there as they fly into turn number 1 for the first time once again. And again, the 23 of May got the jump. Liberty quickly up into that number 2 spot in the number 6. Bois running in third in the 97, and McCarthy in the 43. A little bit of a rocky start, but now he begins to go to work, working his way back up through the field. 1 lap complete, and Randy May showing the way in the 23. Keep an eye on that 82 car buzzing around. James Gray is starting to get a little racy. Gray got a wheel underneath the 97 of Bois going into turn number 3 and 4. But couldn't quite get it done, and May continues on his way.
You need to update your website.
Stefan Haas running in the number 2 spot in the number 6, so a correction on that. Haas running in the number 2 spot, and now Gray does get underneath the number 82 machine. Gray moving up into 3rd spot in front of Bois in the 97. The 28 moving on up into the top 5 is Paul Smith out of Cambridge. So far, so good for the 23, Randy May. As Haas try to track him down the back straightaway. And is starting to make a little progress by the looks of things. So the 82 starting to come on. James Gray, as those top 3 are pulling away from the rest of the field a little bit here in the early going. Once again, you see the 82 moving on up. Getting closer and closer to Stefan in the number 6. Haas in hot pursuit, but is not. Trying in a little different line going into turn 1 that time. Seeing if he can pick up a little extra steam. May leads him into turn 3 this time with Haas in that number 2 spot. Field running. Very consistent laps. Getting a feel for this racetrack. It's been 5 years since they've been here, so. Castro Can-Am Midgets here at Autodrome International Speedway tonight. Touring series running all over Ontario. First visit in 5 years to the Ottawa area. Part of our Canada Day weekend extravaganza here at the Autodrome. Ronnie Ridge off the flying stand says 2 laps remaining. And once again, the car we're keeping our eye on is the 82 machine of James Gray, as once again he has gotten closer to Stefan Haas in the number 6. White flag coming up, 1 more trip around. Gray going to make his move going down into turn 1. Trying to go the outside route. Now follows in line off at turn 2. Let's see if he gets on the loud pedal down the back straightaway. Battle for the number 2 spot as they go into turn number 3. Gray trying to pull the whole shot. Haas has that one all figured out. A couple of them get together on the back straightaway as May comes across the line. And first, Haas is second. Gray is third. And we've got 2 of them into the infield. The 28 involved. That is Paul Smith out of Cambridge. And, of course, the 43 of Craig Mackrith also into the infield. Those 2 tangling going down the back chute. You see the 28 of Smith is Paul starting to unstrap the belts and pop out the top of the race car down on the back straightaway. Mackrith has got some problems on his hands as well. as the defending series champ works by us here in the front straightaway. You can see smoke, and he is also testing the steering wheel. And judging by the wobble in that rear end on the 43, he's got some work to do.
You know, Steve, we really, really appreciate these drivers traveling all over from Toronto to the States, coming here to Autodrome International Speedway. A lot of them even camped out here overnight just to get here. So we do appreciate all the efforts made by the Can-Am Midgets and their whole crew. They really bring a whole show, and you can see they have their own officials, own scorers, and they've been a real pleasure to work with. Really nice to meet the guys down there, guys and girls, down in the pits. Overall, so far, it's been a really good experience for us, and we're happy that they've been able to make the trek here to Autodrome.
Second place, and that one going to the 6, Stefan Haas. A nice run by Haas. And third spot going to the car number 82 of James Gray out of Brampton. So that wraps up heat number 1 for the Can-Am Midgets. The other half of the field due out momentarily, David.
That's right, Steve. We're getting ready for heat number 2, which is the other half of our visitors coming in. And then from that, we'll decide the lineups for the feature. Coming up later on after intermission. So that was the first half, getting ready for the second half. I guess we're just going to wait a few minutes for them to clear off the infield, or perhaps just pull these guys and keep them in the infield, and then we'll get underway again.
Of course, the Rockin' Race weekend coming up for those of you in the grandstand, a big event.
This Saturday, Friday and Saturday, is the place to be, is Autodrome International Speedway. Friday, we feature a free rock concert sponsored by Labatt's. We have One Atom 12. That starts at 7, goes till 10 o'clock. And, of course, we always have our cruise night on Friday going at the same time. So you'll be able to watch some drag racing, listen to a rock concert, bring out your lawn chairs, the whole family. It'll be a good time. Then on Saturday is the big day, starting at 11 o'clock in the morning, running till 11 p.m. all night. We have starting off semi-pro drag racing, featuring semi-pro cars, trucks, motorcycles, skidoos, anything that fits that class. Then around 4 o'clock, 4 to 5 o'clock, we'll be doing a 100-lap enduro. And as if that wasn't enough, Steve, right after that, we're going to be finishing off with a huge demolition derby. So we're going to have all sorts of different racing here from 11 to 11. It's only $10 admission for the entire day. So come out and spend a whole day here at Autodrome International Speedway.
And we're all looking forward to that. Of course, great to have the racetrack and have the drag racing as part of it. And, of course, a lot of stuff goes on here during the week, not just the regular Wednesday night stock car program, where it's more of a multi-use facility than that.
That's right. We have your drag racing now. We have on Friday, Saturday night cruise nights. We have your Wednesday, which is stock car racing. And Sunday, we've got the motorcycle stunting and get-together, where guys come out and do their stoppies and endos and stand on the handlebars. And it looks like, Steve, we're getting underway for our second heat.
Second heat will go away like this. On the pole, the 27, Mike McCann out of Huntsville. McCann in the 27. Alongside him in car number 90 is Dave McIntosh. McIntosh is from Bradford, Ontario, which is just outside of Barrie, for lack of a better way to put it. Row number 2 on the inside, I believe that's car number 36. That's Clifford Hodgkinson. Hodgkinson in the 36. Actually, he's going up outside the front row with the... Oh, they're going to form all up. These cars remind you a lot of super modifieds as you see them on the speedway. Some of them are a lot like sprint cars. Others are like super modifieds. That 36 car of Hodgkinson, one of those that looks like a scaled down super modified.
Steve, the super modified's a little different than these. We have one that comes out here and tests and tune every once in a while. They have about 1,000 horsepower, I'm told. And they have to also get a push start to go.
They're awesome cars.
Even though we've got a 3/8 mile paved oval here, by the time that guy gets up to speed, he has to slow down to get into the corners.
That's right. The number 20 is Tyler Mackrith. Now, he was a wrench on one of the cars here last year, one of the top mechanics in this division. Now behind the wheel is a rookie in car number 20. The number 49 is Adam Walsh out of Brantford, one of the guys to keep your eyes on. David Bollich out of Toronto, one of the institutions of the Can-Am Club. He's been running with them for years and years and years. Number 40 is Andy Mackrith. Mackrith in the number 40. He used to drive a super modified on a very regular basis down at the Oswego Speedway. Ted Cresswell out of Newmarket in car number 3. And starting scratch on the field, the guy with the most work to do in qualifying heat number 2 is car number 98. and that is driven by Dennis Bois out of Brampton. So Dennis Bois going scratch on the field in car number 98. That is your starting lineup for the Can-Am Midgets, and one of them is getting a push start over there between turns 3 and 4.
You know, Steve, when you look at the rosters on the Can-Am Midgets, a lot of these guys have been there 14 years, 15 years, 20 years. They've really been with this for quite a while, and it looks like a lot of NASCAR guys have really cut their teeth in racing in these type of cars too.
Yeah, it's amazing. The Midgets, especially in Indiana and the Midwest of the United States, these are, well, they call them TQ. That means 3/4 of the size of a full midget, as the 24 Kurt Graham having the problem, and Kurt is not going to be able to answer the bell for this qualifying heat, is out of the car, and we're going to get the white flag this time by. Tough break for Kurt, who comes all the way from Etobicoke in car number 24.
Kenny Schrader, Steve, from one of the NASCAR stars. He's from these here as well. Other guys, Joe Gossick ran in the Indy 500 in 1996. So you got a lot of guys who, you know, this is their start. So this is really a real class for superstars, I guess.
J.J. Yeley, another one that came up through these ranks. Green flag coming out. And the number 90 of McIntosh leading him into turn number 1 for the first time. Mackruth trying to work that outside groove of the 20. Getting up alongside of the number 36 of Hodgkinson. Hodgkinson down on the bottom side. Mackruth up top. And caution coming out on the Speedway once again as the 49 of Adam Walsh is stopped off of turn number 2. Walsh in the 49 coming to a halt already over there off of turn number 2, facing the wrong way, and perhaps got bounced around in traffic with the 49 machine. And once again, the Can-Am Midgets safety vehicle quickly onto the scene to help Adam out. You know, Joe Gosick and folks like him, you mentioned that name, who ran the Indy 500 a few years ago. A lot of these guys run these cars indoors in the wintertime. They used to run them 2 or 3 times a winter inside the Niagara Falls Convention Center in Niagara Falls, New York. They made the convention center into a casino, so they can't do that anymore. So they run 1 or 2 races a year in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
What if they let them do that at the Westin?
Wouldn't that be fun?
That'd be fun, running up and down the hallways with one of these.
Actually, the Civic Center would be a great venue for these little guys. Or maybe the Corral Center. At least we'd have one winner in the Corral Center. Anyway, we're hoping for Dominic Hasek as we speak. So we're getting them all race stacked in the deck once again. The 49 of Walsh is able to continue, and the Brantford driver will start scratch on the field now. Field headed down the back straightaway. Hodgkinson once again going from the pole in the 36 car. Although the number 90 of McIntosh did get the better start the first time around. Field coming through turns 3 and 4. Ronnie's going to give him one more trip around before he sets them loose. And we welcome Robbie to our broadcast crew tonight. Nice to have a new voice on the Rogers Sports exclusive team, and I think he's pretty excited to be here at the racetrack. I get the feeling that he's one of those sporty kind of guys.
Well, you know what, Steve? I'm just in awe of this guy, just being in the shadow of him. Many people may have seen him on Leno or David Letterman. He apparently can fit more grapes in his mouth than anybody else.
Quite a claim to fame, ladies and gentlemen. Green flag coming out off at turn number 4. And into turn 1. A lot more even this time as they get down into turn number 1. But the number 90, McIntosh, does get the jump. Hodgkinson falls back into that number 2 spot, although they're going to work on him already as the field dive bombing into turn number 3. Coming around to complete lap number 1. The number 90 of Dave McIntosh is your leader. McIntosh with Hodgkinson in hot pursuit in second spot. Here comes Mackruth down the inside the 20. Car got a little bit loose coming off at turn number 2. He had to pack it back in line just in front of the number 40 of Andy Mackruth, who runs in the number 4 spot. A couple of Mackruths now running in the number 3 and number 4 spot. Andy's got to run down the inside for second. Oh, it got real tight going down there into turn number 1. Mackruth all over the rear deck of Hodgkinson down the back straightaway as they continue to battle for second spot behind our leader, the number 90 of Dave McIntosh. Here's Mackruth trying the outside lane coming down the front straightaway at Autodrome International. Wheel to wheel racing down into turn number 1. Those first 5 cars very close, especially after the first one. Hodgkinson's got his hands full with 2 Macris all over him right now. And on his way up as well is the 12 car. Now Balich, who runs in the number 5 spot. Tyler, a young fellow. Whoa, and that car got real wobbly coming off of turn number 2. He had to make a kick save and a beauty to keep that one off the wall and running in the number 3 spot. Tyler Mackrith really working hard to get by Hodgkinson in the 36, but Hodgkinson just taking his line nicely around the speedway, not getting out of the racing groove. Oh, and he's getting a little physical there as he went down into turn 1, number 1 and 2. We call that gentle body massage. And Hodgkinson sticks to his guns and holds on to the number 2 spot. We're going to keep our eye on these 4 cars as they are really battling it out back and forth. Nice touch by the 36 of Hodgkinson with that little Canadian flag on the back of the car. Happy Canada Day, David.
Happy Canada Day, Steve. And it's going to be a nice Canada Day. Looks like we're going to get the good weather for it, though. We thank the heavens for that, for this one. And we're going to have a good weekend with nice sun, 28 degrees. We couldn't ask for better than that.
2 laps remaining in this one. Trying to finish it off. The number 90 of Dave McIntosh has disappeared from the field, but the battle wages on for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th as they all run together on the racetrack. White flag is out. One more trip around. You can see the number 90, Dave McIntosh, well in front of the rest of the field. 2 Macris now starting to battle it out for that number 3 spot. Andy gets a wheel underneath, going down into turn number 3. Nice move as Andy Mackrith picks off the number 3 spot. Coming to the line, it'll be Hodgkinson 2nd, Mackrith, Balich, and coming up there in the number 3 of Todd Cresswell with a good close as well to get into the thick of the field. So a very impressive show there by the number 90 of Dave McIntosh out of Bradford, as nobody really was in the same class in that one.
Steve, we're just going to send a little reminder out there of some of the amenities that we have here at Autodrome. The cotton candy is flowing. So is the beer at our beer gardens, if anyone's interested and you're looking for something cold to drink. Our concessions also are always open. So we invite you to check them out during the races and after the races. Lots to do here at Autodrome during the race. We have a beautiful crowd here today experiencing this, and we thank everybody for coming out with us today.
And you can see Dave McIntosh down there in Victory Lane getting all the paraphernalia off and celebrating a win with our track crew down below. Yeah, I think David, we have a look at how close it got going through turn 3 and 4 there. And there's that little bump. And look at Hodgkinson able to keep a hold on the race car despite that bump. We're going to get a second angle on this going down in. This is going down into turn 3 about halfway through, and you can see the wobble in that race car. He made a nice rescue to keep it going and is rewarded with the second place finish as a result.
At this speed, I don't know. You're in an open wheel vehicle, not a lot of body around you, and it's just you and the pavement. These guys must have nerves of steel. I thought running in one of our little legends was a bit of a challenge. This just frankly would scare me, Steve. I don't know that I'd ever get into one of these. If you look at, speaking of how to get into these guys have to get into these through the wing on the top, through a very small opening on the top. They'd have to really make quite a larger opening in order for someone like me to get into one of these.
That's why we're in the booth and not on the racetrack, and I think the other drivers are very blessed that we are not on the racetrack with them.